I knew I was going to be spending money on classroom resources. I don't think I knew how expensive they were, especially the ones involving technology and reading. I had no idea, especially when you're buying them just for yourself and not for an entire building or entire district. It really is pricey, and so I don't think I realized how much those would cost on my own. I definitely have to supply more than I expected I would. I think a lot of people think teachers are given buckets of supplies in the beginning of the year, and we're not. I think my friends and family really expected that, because I don't really have any family members that are teachers, so they didn't know that I would really need to buy so many things for my classroom. So when I was starting to get ready for the year, they were saying, oh, why are you buying glue? Why are you buying scissors? Don't they give that to you? And so they were really surprised. I said, nope, I have to supply a lot of those things for my kiddos, and even if we do ask them to bring things, not everybody is able to. I think supplies matter because not all students are able to supply their own things, and it's not fair to have one student that is able to bring in something and then another student that isn't able to have those same opportunities. So I think it's up to the teacher to make sure that their classroom is a place where all students can have the supplies they need so they all have equal learning opportunities. And so I would hate for one of my students to not be able to do a project or to complete something just because they weren't able to have the supplies come in from home. I remember when I first was looking on adoptaclassroom.org and I was looking at reading materials and I found RazKids. I remember showing them kind of an introduction video up on our iBoard and showing them how it worked and all of the books they could read, and they can earn stars and build their own little robots and things like that, and they were just in awe and they were so excited. And I actually sent home a letter saying, hey, you can go on this at home too, especially because my students that don't necessarily have access to that many books at home, I wanted them, if they had access to technology, to get to go on at home. And I get a weekly report as a teacher of what they're reading, what level they're reading at, if they're taking quizzes, things like that. And so even just that first week of getting that report and seeing how many of my students went on at home, and how many books, especially my kiddos that don't like reading, and they make that very obvious, and they say, I don't like reading, I'm not good at it, and then seeing them go on at home with this adoptaclassroom.org resource and having them come in and saying, wow, I read 10 books this weekend, when I know without that resource they wouldn't have read it all over the weekend. So that was really cool for me to see as a teacher. I think more resources mean more learning opportunities for my students. It means more access to, especially with our RazKids on the computer and iPad, I think it means more access to 21st century skills and to really getting those experiences with technology at a young age, which I know is going to be important later on. And it's just more opportunities for them to grow and learn and have more access to education.